There should be a couple of new ones. Hoping I can get on in the road. Me on my way to ask the wife what's wrong with her. Right, this is sent out automatically every month, obviously. This is just where I've gone with travels and talks to do. So there's only 36 places in April. A knocker up was hired to ensure that people would wake up on time for their jobs. Mary Smith earned sixpence a week shooting dried peas at sleeping working windows in East London in the 1930s. I don't think they had blocks of flats then, did they? Never reached the top floor. Right, from last week. Cordon fruit trees. Straight up. There's 5 of them, top of the garden. So I've got a cherry, dams, well, there's all sorts. Jeffrey also mentioned me netting ain't strong enough, me sweet pea netting. So I had a look online and heavy duty bird netting, that'll do me. So I've sent for that. That was obviously after last week.
That's very good one, Nick.
Oh, good man, good man. This is ruching down the brook, and that is a wild garlic. There's tons on it down there now. And that's one of my last tulips to open up, but they've been huge. Had a good display of them. Gladioli coming through. There's about a third of them not showing any signs yet. As you can see, there's 2 there, 3 there, but there's a few tubs of just small culverts. But we'll see how we go. Grapevine, now the weather's started to warm up. Everything is starting to get a little bit of a spurt on, luckily. If you can remember the last Zoom, that was no good, the end of that. So I just chopped him off. And I left that shoot on. Now I'm going to train him along here. So just persuading and bending him over. If I do anything like this, like I'm going to persuade him, then I do it at dinner time. That's when the plant's nice and supple. We do it early morning or late at night, and I don't want to end up snapping them. Also the tendrils, which you also get on sweet peas. Because I'm tying them up myself, I don't want all the energy going into there, so I chop them off as well. I want all the grub going into getting a length, as much length as I can on that pole, at least halfway down the tunnel this year. And then for next year, a little bit of the length. But we'll see how we go. Peach is still inside the greenhouse because we're still getting cold nights. In fact, we're down to 4 again tonight. So he's staying in there for a while. But there's loads of fruit on him. In fact, I've got to thin him out as well later on. Good sized fruit. Canes I'm putting in bundles, which is what I need for the 2 lots of raspberries. I've got the golden and the red. There's 2 lots for that. Then for me, peas, exhibition peas. I'm just sorting the canes out for them. And I've got 1 cane left, which I walloped in that paint, which is the same colour as my fence panels. And we'll utilise him later on. 3 pots there of eating leeks, them are for the bring and buy. There's also a bamboo there. Right, these are the panels. I've just cleared him out of the road so I can get my netting up there. I swear that the netting's going to go, well, on all the panels going all the way down. When I was perving them. Straws, I thought that all lasted. Well, that's still going strong, and I'm still cutting off all the dead leaves, as you can see there. But it don't look very good. But I'm still watering because these dry out quick, obviously, because of my half basket, especially in the wind as well. But we'll see how we go with them. I've got some more on order, them to go into tubs, top of the garden. Right, some of my pots in the greenhouse. You can see which pots I'm using. Where it's my own compost, homemade compost. Telltale signs, and the tomatoes growing through. Which you can see most of them there. Them too. But anything like that, all I do is pull them out as they are there, and just bung them back in the compost heap. But so far, Canna's doing well. It was over Jay's Gladdy. He started early, so I put him in a pot because me raised bean weren't ready. He's now ready, so I'm going to bung him in between the two tulips. Bit of a vermiculite under him. Took him out of the pot. Nice white thick roots. That's what I want to see. Put him in and leave the cane label in as well, so I know where he is. Give him a good watering. Set him up. Sweet peas, old fashioned. These have been pinched out, as you can see, the sides, so they'll be alright, ready to go out. Then we'll go out in the next couple of days. There's old fashioned scented all sorts. Good thing about using white plastic drinking cups, you can see through them. I mean, I'll open them anyway to have a nose, but you can see the roots through the pots. And then lot are ready to go out. So, my netting originally, which I put on the other side of the fence. There's two lots going to each panel, fence panel. So there's two there, all the way down. So these are the first two lots going out in there. Delphiniums now, as you can see, well, another week. Now, the first one will be in flower. But got to get these out. Just finding space for everything. So a bit of room there. So I'm going straight in there and get him out. Because now I'm potting stuff in the final position, I'm going to have a bit of mic under the iris, mycorrhizal fungi. This colonises the root structure, giving them better roots, hyphae roots come off and go deeper, meaning I'm getting more trace elements and minerals out of the soil, so you've got a stronger and a healthier plant. The cock up I made when I first started using these, pricking stuff out in the greenhouse, I just put a pinch in every seedling I potted on, and the mycorrhizal fungi is that good. By a month or so, I've run out of room in the greenhouse. Stuff was growing that good. So now, majority of stuff, I don't use this until I plant out. So I've got my old, there's a lump going in there. Obviously it gives the plants a boost as well, a kickstart. So I've had a slight check in growth. Alstroemeria coming on. Henry Orange is just going out. These cups from a plastic drinking cup into these 1 pint red plastic cups from Wilco. I used to have my onions in these, but they're perfect for these as well. They've got long roots on them. The sweet peas, I love it. I've got my mic ready for him and all. Just working my way down. And my trailing petunia, flowers on them. corkers. Well, it's still in the pot, he ain't got out yet. Still loads of flowers on me lemon, so they get a spray, a mist spray, just to help mount pollination as soon as the sun goes off them. This is from John Murphy when I went down to visit his place a couple of years ago now. He gave me a grape and he put this photo on. He said, "This is your grape. This is where one of this came from, and this is great for wine." So that would do me, good lad. He knows I've done my wines. Still working the way down. This was in Stevens Park where I took the hound walk in the park for. I missed the other three. Family fun day for dogs. So what I'm put ruching in for might be a prettiest lady dog, small breed up to collie. I might bumble in for that, it's only £2. And then once they've got a hooker duck, the one who's got the waggish tail is going to make a homemade cake. I don't know if we can do that. No, that's extras for the day. So I might put ruching in for that. Right, these are after I mentioned this last week or 2 weeks ago, last time I was on. The park itself is after the Green Flag Award, first one they've had. And I told you about trimming all the new shoots from the bottom. I'm leaving all the crap around. And also, I'm taking all the rubbish up from the adjuncts here. But instead of putting that on a crap pile or something, I'm just throwing it back onto the field itself. So that's something I'll bring if I was judging it. Still cutbacks. Still collecting my leaves, bits of whatever. Mixing that with compost ingredients. Right, water butt. Surprising how many times I have to fill this up. When I do fill it up, I just put a house brick under, not leave it then. But having a perv in it, there ain't much water left in there now. Then once again, I think I did this about 2 years ago. I noticed all the worms, and these are alive. How the hell do worms survive in water? So no worms breathe through the skin. I don't know if they dry out and die, but weird. So we'll look after them in a bit. Bedding plants in the greenhouse, these are going to go out really soon. The Mecana seeds, you've got to keep an eye on these. I've only missed a day looking at them. And you can see the crap that's going in the water. You've got to keep this water clean. And that one, I think, is nearly dried out. Because I'm still in the propagator, don't forget. And that's what I'm waiting for there, like waiting for the spurt. Just get him out with a spoon, and you don't knacker him up. But that's what I'm after. Still trying and erroring, doing different methods. And a couple of groups I'm on now, canny groups worldwide, and I'm learning off them as well. There's quite a few of the big boys still trialing as well, which is good to see. And they want to learn more as well. But Lucifer, that was one of my own seeds. These and 5 there were from seed I had from mate in Canada. So them are doing well. I'm going to visit my mate Dave up Chesterfield Thursday. Got some stuff to take up for him. I've taken a few of these. I think Dave's getting into canners and all. Right, Cape Gooseberry. These are the giant. I sent one to my mate, John Murphy, because he started giving me the first plant, which was last year, and I was chuffed with it. I put 3 down. I only had 2 come through. It was one of these for Paul Davis. If the other one had come down, Paul Westwood, Chili Paul, you would have had the other one. There's only 2 come through. Exactly the same again. I'm potting them on into these. the same as everything when I used to do the peppers and the tomatoes. If I'm potting on from this stage to that stage, I'm going to plant up to that first leaf. So that'd be the seed leaf, and that stemmy berry will get extra roots on it, giving you a stronger and healthy plant. So I bung my plastic cup in, bring him up to the height, and then put my compost around it. Take the cup out. Now the chap's ready to go in. Take him out of the cup. So I've buried him. Keep him nice and upright, and then I'll firm the soil all around the outside. I'm not firming that soil around the side. I'm firming him up against the plants itself, but not pushing that down, if that makes sense. So there's my seed leaves. I really can take them two off, which I did do in the end, to give me another little bit of height to get the roots in. Give them a nice watering, tepid water, not cold, rainwater, not tap. Lucifer's doing right. If you remember, this was a trial as well. I put oats on the top. It's made against John Murphy. He said this on the net, and somebody was trialing the porridge oats as a feed, and that was working, which is common sense again, isn't it? It's a natural product. So he's got it on there, and looking at the state of the plant, it ain't doing him no harm. Taking him out, that's what I want to see. Nice, white, thick roots. But you've also got the hyphae roots coming off. To get a closer look. That's the closest I can get in without it going out of focus. Look at them hyphae roots coming out. This is what mycorrhizal fungi does to you, or does to your plants. So I'm going to pot him on as well. There's my little chap. Right, bedding, it's got to go out. So all I'm doing is obviously counting up my plants, and then I'm spacing out label wise where the plants are going to go. So it's only this front I'm covering, plus one on each corner, obviously, because we're going to see it from down here and looking up there. It's no good having it at the back of the sides. So there, I'll bring them all out. I did these last year, the trailing petunia, and it was a good display. But this year I found one. Well, the flowers are supposed to be even better. It's a new than bought out. But the bonus is they're scented, and that's what put me on them straight away. Obviously, that was dearer than last year, but if they're scented, then to me that's worth it. What I'm doing here, in between bits, I'm just sorting stuff out for now, bring them by. These pots which I had for me leeks and onions, I'm going to use them in it again. So I'm just putting them in 10s or 12s, ready to take up for the bring them by. So once again, someone's going out, so I'll put some mic in the hole, help them out. And ideal time to go out. Most of the roots start going around the pot. Perfect. Firm him up. For him to look over the top, come this way. I've got to add a top dressing round him once I've finished everything. Which we'll come on to in a bit. Roses have just started showing signs. I remember when I potted them on. This is just a mixture of a bit of topsoil, bit of I'm just going to add it, pack or build this up just to cover them plants I've just put in. So the top roots are showing. I don't want them to dry out. I mean, I've earthed up from there itself, which you can see, but now I'm going to put something in there. Once they are all out, eventually everything is out, and I'll top dress with my own compost. This was ruching. I got a feather stuck on the end of my nose. I couldn't get it off, but it did the end. And was his teenager at it. Had some more pots, tying them up and all. Them lot I put in, just waited. Or in the process. Canners all coming through now. This one, because we've got the bringer by and Crayley Town. The gaffer Trevor has helped us out more than what he should have. So I'm going to give him this. It's in a good pot. Meaning the bloody pot cost me £6 because it's nice and solid. So I'm going to transfer him into this. That was a free florist bucket. And I should tell him when this needs potting on, just get a decent pot. But I ain't going to give him that this time. So I'm going to check the chap out. You see there's new shoots coming through. The roots haven't extended the full length of the pot, no matter. I'll just backfill that up, what was in there, so I know that's going to fit in. But he has got nice, white, thick roots. Tells me the plant's okay, doing well. Put him back in. Put him up straight. If he's level as I'm looking in there, I'll then turn him 45 degrees now. Make sure he's nice and upright again. And then I'll pack this lot down there. Well, I've just done it as you can see when I've pushed it down. And I'll bung the rest of this lot in. That's it. Can of Durban, that's all ready for him. Leave in there because I've took all my old compost as well, and I took the worms out to the time. But I still found a few worms in because those were the eggs that was in with me compost. And obviously they've hatched out, so I'll bung in that as well. Right, that's got all them chaps out. There's two of these. It's what you had, Scott. I lost one of them. This is a scented one. I forgot the name on.
Did you have any survive, mate?
Just this one. Only the one.
Yeah, I've lost a few, but I think I've got a couple coming. I've taken a few cuttings as well, so
yeah.
Hopefully.
We've had -7s and 8s, which we ain't had for years. Yeah. And there's quite a few people got cut out. Well, including myself included.
Yeah.
But my Bougainvillea standard, which went there last year in the pot, if you remember, I buried the pot. I've lost him as well. Which, nothing about it. So he's good in his place. So just bed him down to the depth I want. Put a bit of mic under his iris, help him out. And yeah, nice new white roots. So I know he's still good. Just firm him upright, level him and wedge him in. So this is just now getting a bit of stuff ready for the bring and buy. So the bamboo eating legs that have been got out the tunnel. Plus I'm putting gladioli corners, a pot of singular beauty, spare sweet peas, canners and all that going. Just getting them ready. Right, my water butt, which I nearly emptied. Well, I mean, process of emptying. I want to get them worms out. Just about got the last, so I don't want to get them going through the tap hole. So I'll unscrew my end from my guttering, tip him up again just before the worms start going through the hole, then I'll put it back. And I notice this chap on the top. Let's see if I can get a close up of him, spider. See if I can get a picture. It's slightly out of focus there. That's a better one. Look at the pattern on him. Great, ain't they? Love it, nature. Right, so I've got my bucket underneath. All I'm doing now is tipping that up, and the worms and the water under the bucket. Hopefully. And they did. So I've got the lot out. Now I've got to clean this lot. So all I do, luckily I've got electric up to the greenhouse, top of the garden. A little portable kettle, which we used to use going on holiday. So I borrowed that. So I'll just get a jug, pull that round, wipe all the crap off. Perfect, ready to start up again. So I'll fill that with tap water, take the lid off, leave it for 24 hours. Best if you leave it for 48 hours. You have no choice. If it is the summer, then a minimum 12 hours. 24 hours, sorry. So then I empty my bucket of worms into a plastic jug. I've got a filter them, so I thought, like, if I put that on a grid with a sponge, put the worms on there, which I did. But this stuff was that thick, it was soaking through the sponge. So put them out in the sun. Worms don't like sunlight. In the meantime, fill me way to put up again. So I thought I'll just help them out. So I picked all the worms out, left all the gump behind, which is done there. And them lot into my compost bin. Perfect. So that lot I've just used, I've cleaned that lot. Put that out to dry. As you can see, sun's out. Still filling the chap up with just about full. Leave the lid off. Do the job out the road. Grass cuttings, leaves again. I'm taking a roosh on the walk. Don't forget I can't get grass cuttings now myself. So them lot are mixed up with other ingredients in that doing as well. This is a bit dry, so they had a good watering although in it. Right, Amazon delivery. I did have pegs with this as well, and there was plastic tires which I don't need, so I took them to the bring and buy. And I also sent away these facades to hold me netting up. So this is the panel I can walk to, as you can see, because I've got a bedding all up the side of there. So this is up the right hand side of the garden. And my last panel down here, 3 beds of gladioli in there. So I can walk to this panel. So I've got a cane, roughly the length, the width or the length. With the panel, but the length of the netting, that's what I wanted. So I'm just using this panel. So I roll out my netting, there's my cane, so just cut to that length, over enough, which I have there. small hole so I can screw these in nice and tight. Perfect. So I've got my first bit of knitting nice stretched. Don't forget, because of this middle panel, I've got a gap at the back, which is perfect, and I only need it down to there, so I'll cut him off. So then he's taken off the bottom one, and from the top working my way down, because they're all the same size. I know it's going to fit this, but I'm just cutting the size. So I'll take my sensor lights off, put the netting on, and then bung it back on. Perfect. Then I'll start again and do the next one, getting my hooks in. While I was putting them in, I noticed my bluebells, obviously. I saw this chap there, which you can't see very well. So we'll move on. Now you can see him. So I saw gaps anyway in the leaves. I knew something was jumping, but he was quite a size, so he's had a good dinner. So he's gone on holiday and put him in the green bin. Let the council take him on holiday. So I did the lot, and obviously my last one was for this panel itself. Another job done. Right, this is looking at the wilderness over next door. That there, which is going out of focus, it's a bit blurred. This is a few weeks back now, he's had that. And it was while I was putting these up, I noticed it. That's me trying to zoom in, but he's out of focus. Aquilegia, them in flower, them Boston, nice dark purple. My wedges, which I was going to use the other side for me, keeping my canes in, didn't need them. But I'm still coming handy, because I'm using these to stop these from rocking. Perfect. That's all that lot netted. Don't forget the other side, I wanted my canes in with the netting, because those for sweet peas. I don't need canes or any height on these. I just need to cover the fence. And there's my two climbers put back in. About the best display of tulips this year. There's some, about a third still flowering now, but these ones on the top, they've still got the stems on, but the only ones we've had, it's knocked all the petals off, but that's finished anyway. It's been a good display. Loads of fruit on the blueberries. I'll give them a feed about a month ago, if you remember. Right, this is at home composting webinar with Garden Organic. This was Dudley Council put these on. Garden Organic from Coventry. I've heard this talk before a couple of years ago, but I just wanted to come in again, give them another go. So it's free to Dudley Council residents, obviously then with the internet. Successful home composting. So even the chap who was doing the Zoom from Garden Organic, that was Dudley Council's rep who put the stuff together. Before he started, he says the same at the end as well. Just to prove that everybody's learned something. Tupperwares for composting. I'll put other, because I ended up making my own compost. At the end, you weren't on the question. Well, you had to put your questions in writing. You couldn't just ask out. But what I should have done, if we go on that one, confidence before, I just got 8. What I should have done was put 10. In that way, he'd have come back and said, 10, that's perfect. Then I could have told him, yes it is, but he'd have fell out of me at all. As with Dudley Council did. Because when we finished this lot, I emailed him the next day and said, I'm prepared to give Dudley residents a free talk on composting. And got no reply whatsoever. So I'm still blacklisted from a few years back when I told them, i.e. Dudley Council, that their recycled compost was crap. So I'm still marked down as being a naughty boy. I'm just going to message him back and say, if I'm still blacklisted, no bother. I'll just go to the next nearest council, which is Sandwell and Bromsgrove. You give them the free talks. I think that's the same bloke from Garden Organic as well. Wild garlic. I snapped one of these off, and you can smell the garlic in the stem. It's like the chives when you eat a chive. I don't know how you use the wild garlic. Somebody might come in at the end, or if you're now, come in. Does anybody use wild garlic? I can't use it anyway.
Yeah, I do.
Is the bulbs you use or the stems?
No, the stems and flowers.
Oh,
You just pinch them off, and either you can make a kind of pesto with them.
yeah.
So that the flowers, then you add pine nuts and some oil, and just mix them together to make a dressing or a pesto to put on pasta. Or you just take off the flowers, put them in salad, or on sandwiches or toast or something.
Oh. Thank you for that, Jeffrey.
No problem.
Earthworms for farmers. I did a talk for these. Kieran Brown. I did a talk for these a few years ago. And they sent this out, Earthworms for farmers. And I thought that'll interest me because I'm giving a talk to farmers in a while. So I registered for this one as well. This is free. That was a week before it started, so I registered for that if you were willing. Right, my pots for the stump carrots. Like any raised bed, like these ones here, from the start of the year. Everything, if it's in a raised bed, in a trough, raised bed itself or a trough, whatever, the compaction of the rain will drop it down. Same as these three here, i.e. these are dropped. So I've got to lift them up again before I start sowing. So that's what I'm doing. Luckily, these lifted out because they taper. I mean, if they were straight, I've got a chance of a lot coming out. And because they're tapered, I could pull him out without having to collapse it, if that makes sense. So now all I've got to do is top dress him, which I've done. Bung it back here. That's him level again. Go on to the next one. Or I've got that one out, put him on there. So now can do him and bring that one over there. And the last one, transfer him over to that one. So all done. These have been top dressed and all level. Soon these lot will have to be potted on to the next pot size. Strobes, still looking after them. I wait because they're going to dry out quicker than any of the new pots. And you can see in the background, ready for our bringing by, taking my stuff down there. There's a few strobes got a fruit on them as well. As you can see, the flowers just finishing, the bloody fruit's coming on. So I'll pinch them out. These two don't look very well. I ain't gonna get them out yet. So just stacking up the car with my bits and pieces. Bring them by before. We've always had it first Thursday in June. For the last couple of years. By then, June, the stuff's getting advanced quicker or getting ready quicker. Most people got the bedding out by the June bring them by. So it says, right, we're going to move it early. Because in June, like another month, obviously, these eating leeks, muscle butter from Wilco, these would be pencil thickness, ready for planting out. So whereas them, I'm going to tell them just keep another month as I am. Give them a bit of feed every fortnight, and they'll be ready in a month to plant out. But we'll see how we do. So I knew Scott was down there, Trevor was down there as well during the day. And obviously we've got to bring a bottle. Nice sunny day, luckily. So let's just go into the entrance of Trader Town. We've got our advert on there, the garden club. There's a little shed through the gates. Another advert for the regulars. That's club entrance there. We've got another sign there as well. So that's me first lot I've dropped off. Stuff I've got ready. Hot box, nobody wanted that on the night. So I brought that back out. So if anybody wants it, I've got the sofa as well. Dave, if you're interested, it's a kick. If not, I'll put it on next week soon. If anybody wants it, just give us a kick. Well, I'm always there. I took roofing up and just gone out for the pickle. So the patio doors of the venue here, that's where we have our marquee on the fireside football pitch. Because it's flat and it's grass. Paul rang me, Paul Davis works, being cute. He says I've got some plants off the gaffer. And luckily, I says, well, I'm there now, just dropping my stuff off. So he come down. Just gone up the driveway, Jared. Got a hold on him. Lost him. So me and Paul donated most of the stuff. Paul, good man, good man. That's Scott, Trevor's cheap labour. So that's what Paul bought up. Brilliant. And then Trevor owns a place, but then was this, what he's doing here, this lot, as you can see, new tables, new chairs. We rough it that side. But this lot, because it's going to be a restaurant, and there was new tables. We've got to cover these up. So we had to rearrange the tables first of all. Because we had those two tables there, and that's where we're flogging the produce from. It was a bring and buy. Me and Paul are auctioning the stuff behind there. So we're going to place these tables so everybody who's sat can see us. If that makes sense. So that's what I was doing while I dropped my stuff off. So we'll open this out. So going back home again, I borrowed these off Paul, put some money in on the night, and those two, is that lot and these. Sorry, just this lot I can Paul. So there's mine from out the bedding out the greenhouse. And these lot were going out there as well. Fill my bed up. Exactly the same again. Bit of mic under the Harris. Help them out. These two here. I put 2 pots. Them 2 and these 2. So there's 2 this side, there's 2 to the other side. I mean, eventually the roses, there'll be 3 roses along the front. And a rose this corner and to the corner. That's for next year when they're established. So for this year, these 2 here, there's Aquilegia and Crocosmia. Aquilegia will be there because it's high, but you can see straight through it. See that plant behind, which is the Crocosmia. And this is why I've added. Look at that. Beautiful. Boston orange with the yellow and the red eyes. This is a new one for this year as well. And that was Aquilegia, mixed colour. I thought mine was nice last year, and they're going to be bland as hell compared to this one. But nice bit of colour there. So my stuff started going in. Is in here, firecracker. This is a new one as well. Well, I think it's a new one. First one I've seen it. Firecracker. Mostly colours in them. Well, it's been 24 hours. Then go back on me made the butter. Keep finding different things. Canes, I don't need these anymore. These used to be to keep my onions growing straight in the pots. So I'm floating them up into, I think there was 24s and then was 12s. The long ones. Took them to the bringing boy as well on the last. Don't forget anything growing in tubs or pots. Raised beds are going to dry quicker. They ain't too bad there. Was them in a raised bed. But obviously in the summer, they still need waiting. Put the stuff in pots. Because you've got the wind as well. So, and I've started feeding now as well. It's on the liquid osmotic. Same as my stuff in the greenhouse. Eventually I'm going to get a gravity fed feeder in there for all my fruit trees. Once I'm established and all my crap's out of the way. Just come back on in. Your fig. When I had him, he was probably an half size pot. So he's been in there about 2 months. So I had a quick nose while I was there. Yep, that tells me he's ready to be potted on. Nice white thick roots, perfect. That was my own brew. So I know he's going to do well. Fruit trees down the side. Go into my bin. Just going into flower. In fact, there's loads of blossom on all these now. I thought I'd lost one, but Joe was patient with it because they all showed signs. Now getting a bit of space in here, so I've cleared them out, ready for taking the stuff down for the bringing boy. Dave's Thursday, taking quite a bit full in frames. Right, Pets Rose, loads of buds on it. There was also loads of green fly. We had a bit last year. But all I could use at the school with the kids to spray was soapy water, which did work in the sense that it's got to be a fairy liquid I used to use. But you've got to put loads. You put your water in first, and then your fairy liquid, or a good dollop of fairy liquid, because it's got to be proper soapy. You put your fairy liquid in first, then your water. It's going to bubble everywhere. So put your water in first, then your fairy liquid. And you spray everything. And all it does, the aphids, it blocks the airways and chokes them. Oh, that's cruel, but gets rid of them. So there, I put my water in. They have a good dollop. That's my spray. Spray underneath, over the top, cover everything. Go back on him again. The only thing we're doing this, exactly the same as what the school was used to be a pain, because I used to do it on a Tuesday afternoon when the kids gardening club was, before the kids come out. But then I've got to go again the next day, exactly the same as what I've done here. I've just sprayed these, but the next day you've got to spray again, because you might job all the insects, but you haven't jobbed their eggs. So overnight their eggs are going to hatch out. You've got green fly again, so you have to spray again. I had an email from the Green Farm Collective, information for speakers, and asked me to talk for them. It says, no problem. And I had this email, delighted that you're speaking at the Green Farm Collective Regenerative Agriculture Conference on Wednesday, 24th of May 2023. Here's some useful info. This is Albrighton, Wolverhampton. There's one of these chaps in charge, obviously one of the farmers. Well, I went to the first compost tea seminar at Sting's place from police. He's farm manager, using compost tea for 2 years. And then the first compost tea seminar there, trying to get all the farmers to use compost tea instead of using insecticides and fertilisers. And one of the farmers that was there, because I spoke there as well, and he enjoyed my talk, and he asked me to speak at this place, which no problem. I'll come back onto him later on. Right, bring and buy, this is going in on the night. I missed that going in, I saw it later on. And it was Craigiestown FC extends a warm welcome to Colleague Garden Club and its members to your monthly meeting. That's very nice of you. So that's the gals from the committee covering the table, or the tables inside there, because it is a bring and buy. Obviously, I've put on the Gardening Club Facebook group for people bringing plants in, not to bring them in wet. We got covers down here where they're all put, but obviously when they buy them, you're going to take them out and they're going to put them on the tabletops. So we have to cover them just to keep the peace with Trevor. So there's the girls doing their bit. It's Jean, Amy and Joe on our committee. So any stuff was brought in, we brought it down here. Obviously we've got a bar, which is good. Coming in nice and packed. Place is filling up. Amy and Joe going around with a raffle and a footy tote. Back in that one, nice to see Joe and Amy with their Colleague Garden Club logo polo shirts on. We'll get 2 more next week. That table bit there is for our raffle prizes. Chili Paul, you're a good looking bugger. I don't know where he gets away with it. Just about to start. We had a good turnout. There weren't many spare seats at all. When we got away, there's only Jared who sat behind the pillar. He's a good lad. All raffle prizes are donated. Started that off a couple of years ago. That saves us a good bit of money as well. This crowd are from Lees in Brum, near Woodbury. Come to all the meetings. Fairfield, Bromsgrove, they're from. We'll break halfway through for the cobs. Then part 2. But we got rid of everything. Everything went. Or anything that they'll do. Opera gone. Usually bung a couple of quid in for it. Always leave it down go, then it was crap. But it was a good night. Everybody enjoyed it. As I mentioned, me and Paul did the auctioning. 455 quid took on the night, and that was double from the year before. A big difference. Paul bringing them lot in, and I bring the same in every year. Nobody realises. I was on the first one there. But unless they see the Zoom, then they will realise. That's me the next day, spraying the rose bush again. Here in Rushen, back from a walk. Right, these extras which I bought back in the morning. This is what nobody wanted. So I put a couple of quid into them. Obviously, if these was in flower, people would know what they were. They'd have probably gone because they weren't. You know, that one off Sue and all. There's a good one. If Sue brings something in, it's a good one. So where it is. Bit of mark under the Harrises again. And then that went out. A couple went down the board as well. That's me just putting the fork in. Just turning it over. You see the wood chip that's on the top. But that's what I want to see. Activity, i.e. worms. Oh yeah, it's what's heard of Sue. I'll have a fur of the roof during the week. Right, that little chap there. There's about 4 of these come up. They're supposed to be all tulips. That ain't a tulip. Or am I going soft? Somebody come in if you know what it is. It's going to be a type of daff. Oh, he's a nice little chap anyway, whatever it is. But there's only tulips put in. I'll be with the top. Sweet pea is doing well, except you've got to look out for these little horrors. There's a big person behind there. So I'll pull them off, put them straight in the green bin, Dudley Council. I don't like putting slug pellet down because I've got frogs. But obviously a frog can't get a snail, can they? Because they get back in the shells. Also, Aquilegia. They're going to be opened very soon. There's my 2 women in the sun. Got to get it while it's out. Right, Alstrom area. Front of the garden. It is a sun trap. So these are up higher than any of them up the back garden. But if you have a nose in there, which of course is all zoom in and take another photo. Let him flower already. There's quite a few flowers opening up. Right, they sent me all the gum on the talk. This is the one in Wolverhampton for the Green Farm Collective. They sent me all this lot with the date of it, Wednesday 24th of May. That is the venue. So we've got, there's a livestock collection, collective farm, exhibitors, demo area. So there's loads of stuff on. Because Muddy Boots lives at Wolverhampton, I thought, you'd like something like this. So I rung him up and says, if I get you the ticket, you fancy coming? Love it. He got bloody COVID, didn't he? He should have been down more than this weekend. But that's peaking off. As long as he's clear for this. Because he's going to like it there. So the exhibitors, there's quite a few that I've heard of. Biochar, heard of them. Bushford Farm, Harbour Adams University. I know two who work there. 2 people. National events. Saltfirst Farm, Soil Nature, Yara Complex. A few other heard of that as well. So there's quite a bit of interesting stuff there. Collective barn. Had quite a few of the talks. Biodiversity trading. Soil under a microscope. Mycorrhizal research. Don't forget this is for farmers. Try and get them involved. So all these are up my street anyway. Farming in the cycle of Mother Nature. Just common sense in it. Work with nature. Soil food, cook it, grain, pursuit. Food quality first. Compost in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. So I'm on at 2 o'clock. 2:45. What event drills have we done for us? Beneficial insects. Benefits of being in the shot. So all them lot I'm looking forward to as well. And the livestock collective. And technology, farms, pets, dairy farm, soil management, dung beetles, dung beetle manure. I'm going to get me some different manures while I'm there. Soil food, gut brain. Just found it there for now. Profiteering nature, diversity trading, sheep. But no, I'm looking forward to that. I've got me down as Mick Poltley, actor the Compost King, speaker, judge, expert composter. He gives regular talks all over the UK. His talks cover no decultivation, which is what the farmers want, past and efficient composting in the year on the plot, where a thorough process of trial and error. Mick has perfected a natural, cost-effective, and highly efficient compost, which is ready to use in just a month. You'll be surprised how much money you don't have to spend when you embrace and work with nature. But all the other speakers will be interesting to me as well. So looking forward to that one. Right, the fig Turkish brown, got to pot him on. So I've got my next pot, which is this one, because obviously he'll be grown outside on the back lawn. So I'm going to clean him off. First thing I'm going to do, boiling water and a scrubber. Clean him off, turn him round, so I've got that side. So it looks nice and clean. I think there's 2 small ones left and 1 big one. And then bracket. I'm going. Oh, that's where it's going to go. So I'm going to take one of my straws off, so I'll get that bracket in. So that's where I've took it off. That's where the brackets go in. Now I'll put my wire in to all my canes and my rasps. And that is perfectly straight, right in the middle of that bed. That one's already done. Now I've got this one done out the road. Right, let's pop my fig on. So that pot is going to go in there eventually. I need a mould. So the new pot is going in, nice large hole in the middle. So I'm going to cover him with a flattish stone, but it's not completely flat, and that's not completely flat. So still got drainage. I've still got to cover the hole. I'm going to start off with straw going in there first of all, which we have done there. Now I've got different brews. Turkish brown fig, yeah, of straw. That one is shredded, dried goat muck. Also I've got donkey muck. Don't get all these are rubbed out. There's horse muck, good shit. Rabbit muck, pigeon muck in wood shavings. You get any little horrors like him. Squash him. What else we got? There's all bits going in. Wood chip, wood soil. The last one, that's your rabbit muck. The topsoil, squirrel caps, spent tops. The old compost. Bit of sand. That's the last one, the hamster up. Then just mix it all up. So that's got a good brew. Put my pot in. He's got to be lifted up on that pot level. So I'll put a load of that in. Got him nice and level. I'll make another lot of that. I've added my extras, which is I mentioned already, which is a worm cast, spent tops rubbed out, and clover compost. Good brew. Plus my own compost is the last one to go in. Get the carpets off. I just scrape away the top stuff which I put on. And then you get a good dollop out. Take the worms out or any big lumps that are still in there to break down. Which you've done. Put them lot back in the worms. Lid back on. That lot is put in with this lot. This will now be wedged around the sides and the pot. Beautiful. Mix them all up. So because I've got a tray overhanging here, just fill that side and then turn that 45 degrees. So I'll do the same again. That way any spillage on this tray, well, it's going to be on the tray, it ain't going to be on the sides here. So I'm just on that side, turn him round. There's leaf mould in there as well, forgot about that. So he's got a good brew under him. Look after him, they'll look after you. Right, I've got my level near enough. Well, the pot was anyway. Just take him out. If you're going to upend the pot to transplant, if you water 2 days before, then he's nice and compact. And he'll come out in one. Plus the roots open to stay together. But if he's dry, you've got a chance of this lot caving in on you. There's nothing to keep it together except the roots, but if you haven't got many roots on, it will collapse dryness. So just water 2 days before then it'll stay like that. Perfect. White new roots. Place him in and then push down the sides again, not push down on that plant because he's the level I want it. So I'm packing that plant from the bottom up, filling that round. Make sure he's nice and straight. Look that way and that way. Right, make sure he's nice and level at the bottom before I water him. This is in the greenhouse. Top dress him. Earthworms for farmers. I thought this will do. That was a reminder for the next talk that I was doing on Zoom. So yeah, I'll do that. So spirit level, obviously it's no good waiting it if he ain't straight. I'm going to quick wait on the first bit before I put my top dressing on. So I've got my wedges in. That's brought up this road, so it's nice and level. Now I'll get him a good way through. Because if I was to water this outside then bring it back inside, it's going to be a hell of a weight to bring back inside. So I'm just getting level inside here. While I'm there, if there's no sun on them. This is a weekly feed on everything. We spray once the sun's gone off everything, usually on a Friday night. The weekly foliar feed. This one was charged this week. Everything. Just help the chaps out. I believe in foliar feeding more than feeding the soil. If I do use a fertiliser, well, it's the seaweed, my own seaweed, or seaweed meal before I run out. And then last weekend, that's why there was no Zoom. Oh Charlie, I love this crap. Some people don't like it, but some of them hate. Just the weather, backing it all up. And these lot, all for these plants, and what they get Gardening Club sent them. And we'll bring them by. I put them on the display. Very nice. Thank you very much. Right, our mate here. I forgot his name, but I know about him. Was that in the process of making a film of his what he did? In the sense, he saved quite a few of his mates' lives, one after the other. He went back and got them out. I'm going to say too much because I'm making a film on it. But good lad. The best people. Look at this horse muck. If they'd hired me again, I could have been like a ninja in and out and collected all that without them seeing me. But love it. Right, these lot here in the Commonwealth. Give me a bit of paper. Representatives from the Commonwealth. There's over 50 countries with people from. When I was in the mob, we used to show our flag going to different countries. obviously British Commonwealth countries as well. But everywhere he went, he used to love the British. And they always mentioned they wish they had a queen, king or queen, royalty. I met a Matlow when I did a tour in Wolverhampton, ex-Matlow. He was on the committee of the club, and he had 7 years. He come out recently, and in that 7 years, he only visited 12 countries. Gordon Bennett, that's how crap it's getting now with cutbacks. We ain't got so many ships, and I mean, he visited 12 countries. I visited 57 when I was in the mob. I had the best time. There's the lads and lasses now. Read how things change in it. When I joined, I had to learn with 303s, then the SLRs come out. It was carrying rifles completely different to now. Love it. Right, salutes. Most people, or a salute showing their hand. I've read years ago it's because you're showing a clean hand, you're not carrying nothing except the matlows. What they're doing is hiding the palm. From traditionally years ago, when matlows used to climb rigging, because the rigging got tar and to stop the rope from rotting. The hand was always black with tar, so he was hiding the dirty hand. And we're still doing that today. That salute. Some people see that straight away. It'll take a few more, a while to get it, but looks good. This year, like not playing with your ball for a week. Love it. Look at his little face. This is a talk in Canterbury. This was Wednesday just gone. This was for Kent branch of the National Vet Society. And it was in Bridge, in Canterbury obviously. And that was a village hall. But Boston nice. Gordon, known him from the LVS years ago. And the National Vet Society, when I was with them, that was that then impressed me composting methods, and I made a DVD on it. And he used to do all the DVD distributing to all the LVS branches. He's still active now. And they had a good turnout. Most of them around 40. And they enjoyed it as well. I did and all. Boston night. For the next day, I met great evening last night. Thanks for going all that way. But they've asked me back again next year. Me and Mooshin on our rounds. Earthworms for farmers. This is a free Zoom. Anybody can go on these. Obviously you've got to be into composting or worms or whatever. Some people are, some ain't. Kieran Brown. I did me composting talk for him a couple of years ago. Once again, you couldn't ask questions. Although it was about earthworms, it's still a bit interesting. There's another free one coming up, National Monitoring Scheme. peek behind the scenes. But if anybody wants the link for these Zooms, and they send you everything that's going on, there's different talks. Local wildlife sites. This is on the earthworm talk itself. That's what it covered. What is an earthworm? Types of earthworms, soil processes, ecosystem services. Earthworms, agriculture, and can improve our understanding of earthworms. Kieran Derek Brown. Earthworm Society of Britain is the gaffer of that. So I give my composting talk to. He dishes out these. Obviously Charles Darwin's mentioned, good mate of mine. Couldn't wish for me to give a talk in his village where he was brought up. So the village hall, they still use it now for any speakers they have. So I've trod where he's trod. Charles Darwin. Good man. Right, one useful thing I knew about flatworms was in New Zealand. Flatworms are in Scotland, reported there. Report your sightings. The Obama flatworm, never heard of it until this. Has now also been recorded in the UK. And the New Guinea flatworm is the next concern. Meaning all these little horrors are eating our worms. Always summit either. But you had to put all your bits in. Obviously, you had to type them in, and they picked the best ones out. And I just told them, giving a talk to the Green Farm curriculum, straight around. Covering compost and no dig, and using compost teams, farmers in attendance. Not even to mention. Couldn't give monkeys. Up to them. Saw this yesterday. Love this. Filming has begun on the second series, which is popular. SAS Rogue Girls. The original cast will be returning for more days. Excellent. And what was last Saturday? World Naked Gardening Day. Couple of zoomers for you. There's Jerry, our fruit expert. Good lad. There's yours truly, breathing in. There's Andy and Claire from France. Might get them back on these days. Today, the Indigenous people of Australia celebrate the birthday of the inventor of the boomerang. Many happy returns. Did you get it? Lost it. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. Just a quick one. Andy Wright from Chester. I know he's on tonight. He's given us quite a few inputs. And he rung me up. And he has got terminal cancer. And did about 5 years. But he's taking it in his good spirit. We had a good tour together, and he knows he had a good innings, and he's just living life as best he can. So good on you, Andy. And there will be a Zoom next week. And that is it, people. Hope you've enjoyed it. Past the hour and a half.
Cheers, Mick.
Thanks, Mick.
Cheers, Andy,
Thank
mate.
you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Anybody got any photos for next week? Good on you, peeps.
Right.
Right, thank you, people.
See you all.
See you, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, see